thanks for staying. If you just tune in, you're watching the Ghanaian Farmer on Joy Prime Television. And my name is Anyonam. This week, the spotlight is on commercial rice production in the northern part of Ghana. And we find ourselves in Karaga district, precisely inside 600 acres out of the 2,000 acres being cultivated by the CEO of Kujo Abima's farm. He is the overall National Best Farmer 2021. Congratulations once more.
Thank you,
and
madam.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much.
Alaji, how have you been?
Oh, we are doing well.
Okay.
It's not been easy, but at least we are managing.
Right. Well done for the job you are doing for Ghana.
Thanks so much, madam.
How easy or difficult is it to be a commercial rice farmer?
Well, it's difficult.
Okay.
Like I always say, farming is not just something you think you can just move in so easily and then do it. You have to start gradually, learn on it, and then you progress.
Okay.
For instance, I started rice farming almost 18 years ago.
Okay.
And that's what I've been doing almost every year.
Okay.
So we have learned and still learning. Every year you keep on improving.
Okay.
So it's not just too difficult, not too easy too.
Okay.
Because it is something you must always learn.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Is rice cultivated in all the regions we have in Ghana?
Yeah, I can say fairly yes.
Okay.
But for what I know is that it is cultivated in the 5 northern regions: Volta region, Oti region, Eastern region, parts of Ashanti region, is Accra and other places. I'm not so sure of. But these regions I've mentioned, at least we have visited one way or the other.
There's rice being produced there.
Produced around those areas.
What type of land is good for rice production?
Yes, mostly rice is produced even in valleys.
Okay.
That's what we know so much in Ghana. In valleys, even though uplands and irrigation sites, we can produce rice.
Okay. What variety of rice is produced here? Let's zoom into the northern.
Okay. Most northern region we have the orthodox varieties are there.
Okay.
Those, at least when we were even kids, those varieties were already there. But currently, Savannah Agricultural Research Institute releases varieties almost every year, or so in few years they come up with improved varieties for us to try them, and then we use them. But currently, as we speak, they have released about 5 varieties. But the popular ones are Agra rice, jasmine. They have some they call malamale, and then a few others. Savannah Agricultural Research Institute. So from them we get mostly our foundation seed. So when we get the foundation seed, then we then produce certified seed and then produce grains as well.
Okay. So which one is this?
Currently where we are standing.
Yes.
The 600 acre farm is Agra rice.
It's all Agra.
Everything is Agra.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you have your land, before you go for the foundation seed to produce the certified seed for planting, please enlighten startup farmers about the basic requirement. I mean, preparing the land and everything.
Yeah, exactly. You see, rice production, as I said, it is cultivated in valleys.
Yes, please.
Where water can be retained for some time, because everybody knows that rice, especially before you even go into rice production, you know very well that rice needs water.
Exactly.
You can't, if you cultivate it uplands, it will not get enough water for you to get the required yield. So what is happening is that you must identify a valley.
Okay.
And then you come there, you uproot the trees. As you can see, the whole valley, there are no trees in the valleys.
No.
So then you uproot trees, prepare the land, till the land, and then you create bones.
Okay.
What we call bones here is just like we create something like a wall to retain water in the fields.
Okay.
So you create the bones, even though some in other jurisdictions they don't create the bones. But in our case, we always want you to maintain, or you should be able to retain the water in the valleys. So you create the bones, and then you then start from there. That's, you come with a plow, you harrow,
Right.
and then you then do your sowing.
Okay.
In most cases, when the land travels more than 2 years or 3 years, you don't need to continue to plow.
Okay.
You need to only come harrow,
Right.
and then you sow.
Okay.
And then rice is sowed in three different categories.
Okay.
You can do transplanting, you can do spreading, or you can do direct seeding.
Okay.
So, for instance, transplanting in this case means mostly transplanting is always and always at irrigation sites. Mostly, we do it at irrigation sites. You will nurse it.
Okay.
You nurse the seedlings,
Right.
and then bring it to the
Move
field,
to the main field
to
planting.
do transplanting.
Okay.
That's one.
Okay.
Two is direct seeding. You can either seed direct by either manual or with
Right.
machines.
Okay. Seed direct means you just
You
take
just come and
the
then
certified seed and then you start planting.
it.
Okay.
Planting it.
Okay.
And then the other one is by spreading.
broadcasting.
Broadcasting.
Okay.
You can broadcast either by machine again or by human being.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So among these three, broadcasting, seeding, and all that, which one do you do?
No, we do broadcasting.
Broadcasting.
We do broadcasting mechanically.
Why
we
that one?
Well, these days labor is always a big problem, and again we don't have transplanters. And looking at the acreages we are doing, you can't do transplanting manually
Okay.
unless you do either broadcasting or direct seeding.
Right.
So this year we did broadcasting, but next year, inshallah, we
Right.
are going to do direct seeding.
Okay.
So at least, like I said, for 18 years now, we've been doing small, and every year we learn and then improve on
Okay.
what we are doing.
Okay.
So for the past 18 years, we've been doing broadcasting, unless on small areas, small fields where we do little transplanting. So, but currently, as we speak, next year, by God's grace, we are going to be doing direct seeding on these fields.
How long, hours or days does it take for the broadcasting? For 600
Oh, for
acres?
600 acres, for the mechanical broadcasting, we only use 2 days.
2 days.
2
And
days.
you are good to go.
We are good to go.
Okay. So after the broadcasting, okay,
Yeah.
what follows next?
Yeah, when you broadcast, then you harrow. You harrow
Okay.
the place,
Right.
and then you when there is enough moisture, then you do your weed control.
Okay.
That is pre-emergency.
After how many days?
Oh no,
Or
maybe
immediately? Okay.
Immediately, because immediately we have first rain on this field.
Right.
It means that grass will start to sprout.
Okay.
And then once it begins to sprout, and then we come to harrow or we plow, it means that some of the grass, but ideally, what we normally do, you always and always, a farmer must adopt very good practice or best practices
Okay.
on your farm. And what we do is this. Before we come to even start plowing or harrowing, mostly we do, we control the weeds
Okay.
by using glyphosate,
Right.
which is locally called condemn.
Right.
You will spray it first, and then you come harrow, and then you broadcast, and then you do pre-emergency.
Okay.
The pre-emergency here is just like a particular weedicide, which will keep grass seed asleep. You get what I'm trying to
Okay.
say? It will keep the grass seed asleep,
Okay. Allowing
the rice
main crop to mature.
to actually
Okay.
grow.
Okay.
So after some time, you see, when the efficacy of the weedicide goes off, then the grass
also
will
starts growing again.
start to grow.
Okay.
So around that period, then we do post-emergency.
Okay.
We will use post-emergency herbicide or weedicide and then control the weeds. So as you can see, the field is, even though we can't say it's 100% free of weeds, but at least the weed in it is less than 2%.
Okay. All right. So how many weeks old are we seeing now?
Oh, it is 9 weeks.
9 weeks.
9 weeks.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
All right. So are there, apart from birds that worries rice farms, are there any other major,
Yes, our major
problem?
challenge,
Yes.
especially with rice production, is bushfire.
Bushfire.
Bushfire, because normally we harvest rice at the point where almost all the grass around it is dry.
Okay.
So and sometimes, human being, we have the negative people among us. So those who set fire and other things. So during that period, we are chasing harvesting with bushfires.
Okay.
And so apart from this, then we have
Right.
again in one of our interviews, I even mentioned cattle.
Exactly.
Cattle too is another problem.
Okay.
But that one is now, at least in the northern region,
sorted.
we are now
Taking care of it.
Taking care of it.
Alhaji, one of the biggest things my viewers always look out for is the marketing and the investment. So let's talk about the investment first, then we look at marketing and profit.
Yes.
This is a huge field. So
Yeah.
let's break it down into acre.
Yes.
If I am watching and then I admire the work you do and I want to do just 1 acre
Okay.
before moving to 600, how much will you say averagely I will spend on?
For instance, like Ministry of Agric every year comes out with a crop budget for every crop.
Okay.
From maize, soybean, rice, everything. So if you look at what the Ministry of Agric put up is between 2,700 to 3,200 for rice farm.
Okay.
Depending on your location.
Right.
For instance, plowing in maybe in the south is not the same as in the northern
at
region.
all.
So it depends on. But in the northern region,
Yes.
we can come in between.
Okay.
Like if you have 3,000
You
Ghana
are
cedis,
likely
you are
to be
likely
able to
be
cultivate
with your contingencies and everything for 1 acre.
3,000.
3,000 Ghana cedis.
So it means that if I am doing your budgets, it's 3,000 multiplied.
By 600.
600.
Yeah.
Hey, Alhaji, that is over 1 million.
Yes. Well, but it's an investment. It's like any other business we are doing.
Hey, a Ghanaian investing that amount of money.
Yes.
And this is just one of the fields.
One of the fields
we have
are just
2,000.
Yes, we have 2,000 acres.
Wow.
Yes.
You are
So-
doing a lot.
Well, what can we do? That's what I mean.
So if it's costing you almost 1 million, over 1 million, to produce just 600 acres,
yeah.
let's talk about the current market price.
Yes. For instance, paddy rice. Well, what we are doing is
Yes.
that we sell paddy,
You
and
don't
at the
sell the
same time,
refined one.
and at the same time we
The
mill.
okay. Okay.
So when we mill, at least we mill less than 10% of what we produce.
Okay.
But there are others is being sold out.
Okay.
So if we are just to talk of only paddy rice,
Yes.
paddy rice is sold in the market around 350 Ghana cedis as we speak.
Presently.
Presently.
Paddy means that this one with the husk around it.
Around it.
Okay.
So you have not refined it. It's just straight from farm to
Straight to the warehouse. Okay.
But I'm just talking of the current price.
Yes.
It may increase maybe in the next 2-3 months.
Exactly.
Or it may come down.
Yes.
And depending on the moisture content of your rice.
Okay.
If the moisture content is very good, you get a premium price.
Moisture content means what?
I mean, when the rice is not fully dried.
Okay.
So if you harvest between a moisture content of, let's say, 12 to 16%, it means that you can just go and do straight milling with it.
Okay.
Straight milling here means you are not going to parboil it. You are just going to send it to the mill direct. They will clean and then mill. So if you are able to harvest your rice around that period, 12 to 16%, you are getting premium price for it. And the price for it is in Ghana. Okay. It's not that someone has to come from somewhere to buy it, because at least currently there are so many rice milling millers coming up. So, and they always go around looking for paddy rice to buy at that particular moisture content.
Okay.
And that one, you mill and they pick it direct from your farm.
Okay.
So simple.
Okay.
So, and that one, the price is even higher than what I've even quoted.
Okay.
So the price, for instance, if this one is going for 350 per 100 kg, that one can be around 500 or 600 Ghana cedis per.
Strategic marketing. But what I want to know is that, are there special people who buy the rice at that quality?
No, every rice mill needs that.
Every rice mill needs between the 16 to
between
the
12 to 16% moisture content.
Okay.
If you see any rice miller going in for any other rice, it means that he has no option. That's why he's going for that one.
Okay.
Because that one is for straight milling.
Right.
You just send it to the market, to the mill. You are milling it direct.
Okay. All right.
But if it dries, you can mill direct unless you parboil it.
Okay.
And then before you mill.
Okay.
So every miller prefers. Unless otherwise, you are just producing only parboiled rice.
Okay.
Because other people prefer parboiled rice to the straight bills.
Alaj, so are you going to wait fully 4 months before you harvest?
Yes, because according to the breeder,
yes,
the rice should be 4 months before you harvest.
Before you harvest.
So
you are still going to wait the 4 months before
we
you do your harvesting. Okay.
120, 123 days.
Right.
Then you start your harvesting.
Okay.
By which time everything is matured on the field, and then you
can harvest
But
it.
if you let it go beyond, it becomes too dry.
Okay.
And it will travel to something else.
Okay.
Especially even if you are growing seed, that time you have it's not very good.
Okay.
So part of our fields, some of our fields in the 2,000 acres is even seed farms.
Okay. Okay. What time of the season is best for me to cultivate my rice?
Yeah, depending on your geographical location.
I'm in the northern part.
So if you are in the northern part, even in the northern part, you know, some areas experience early rains. Others, at least there is late. But it is just between June to July.
Okay.
You should at least do. If not, because it is in a lowland, if you don't cultivate or you don't plow it very early, you see that water will invade the place and then you can't even move in. So by June, first week of June to first week of July, we are in the rice fields working.
Okay. How many bags are we likely to carry away? From 600. I want to start calculating and see how I can charge Alaji. Alaji, tell me.
I told you, well, when you are able to invest very well and all conditions are okay,
yes, please,
with the agra rice, at least potential yields is around 3 tons.
3 tons?
3 tons, that's about 30 bags.
30 bags.
30 bags
from this field.
I'm just saying, if you are able to do very well,
of course,
so all things being equal on the field, we are expecting that we should be able to make 30 bags from an acre.
Okay.
That's if all things being equal. But because this one under irrigation, where we don't control so many things, this under rain-fed. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. So, but if all things being equal, God on our side, and then everything goes on, at least this is our expectation. But in any case, you know, a farmer, we don't project so much. We always think that, oh no, come on, let's not project too much. So whereby you put your expectations so high, and then you start calculating things, and then you so we bring it to somewhere 20 bags, between 20 to 25 bags. So we don't go by what the breeder will tell us the potential yields. No, we don't go by it. We only come down at least 20 or 2 tons to 2.5 tons per acre. That's what we always do.
So if I am going by just the estimated price, which is 350, multiplied by the 2 tons or 2.5 tons that we are
so let's take
estimating.
2 tons. Let's take 2 tons.
How much are we likely talking about?
Well, we are talking about 7,000 Ghana cedis in an acre. So and you have invested about 3,000 Ghana cedis, or let's say at most 3,500.
Wow.
And then you make 3,000. So it means that rice farming
is very profitable if done well.
So, and in this case, even Ghana, right now, we are now moving towards, everybody's saying Ghana rice, we must eat Ghana rice.
Exactly.
We must eat Ghana rice.
The agenda.
So it means that there will be market for rice in the coming days. In the coming years. So young people or young farmers who want to venture into farming, if they choose to go into rice production, it will be a good idea. Yeah, I don't think they'll be making any mistake.
Alhaj, when we walk through the farm, you're working with some of your team. There are some part of it that has water, and there's some part that where we find ourselves now, it's a bit dry. What quantity of water should be in my rice farm at a particular time?
You see, there is a saying in my language that even though we are saying that rice want water, but it doesn't, you don't need to cultivate it in a dump. See,
no dam for irrigation. I understand.
So in any case, minimum water is okay. It just want, at least the ground, you can see that even though we are not standing in water, but
there's still water.
Yes,
beneath my foot.
So
that's what we are talking about.
So that's what we are talking about. The place must always be moist for the rice to strive well. So it's not that always there should be water or there should be we should flood it. No. Irrigation size, we even sometimes regulate it. You can walk through it, everything. So before you do flooding, sometimes there's no water. So it's not just that every time there should be water in your field. But ideally, you must cultivate it in especially where we find ourselves. Wet grounds.
Alhaj, when all things are done equally on the field and it gets to the rice miller, and then get to the warehouse.
Yeah.
And at what temperature do I keep my rice to maintain a good condition to
like,
get good money?
like I indicated earlier,
Yes.
millers that don't like dry rice.
Okay.
But when it is fully dry, when you are milling it, it breaks.
Okay.
So you should always, and all other jurisdictions, what I've learned is this. Immediately after harvest, they mill every rice.
Okay.
And then store it
Okay.
as mill rice.
Okay.
They don't leave it as paddy rice.
Right.
But in our jurisdiction, the millers are not, the millers, their capacity is very small.
Okay.
So that is making us to even store some of the
rice.
rice. But ideally, we should have been milling everything. We should have been milling everything and then keep it as, because we don't eat paddy.
Okay.
Nobody eats paddy.
No.
We eat mill
The
rice.
milled rice.
So in any case, it will be milled. So once you have, so under a particular condition, you know, northern region, for instance, our temperatures do go higher.
Exactly.
Especially between January to April. We can even experience up to 42%, 42 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
So at least we can regulate it. Once you can do anything to regulate your temperatures, so whereby you can still keep the moisture content, Fadillah, alhamdulillah, you can do that.
All right. Alaj, does rice produces flowers? I can see some whitish things around the seed.
Yes, that's flowers, the flowers of rice.
Okay. So in the 4 months, at what point in the growth stage does you see the flowers before the rice come out?
The rice or any crop depends on the way you treat it.
Okay.
When you treat it very well,
Right.
you get your results very quick.
Okay.
For instance, someone will tell you that, oh, in maybe after 8 weeks or after 12 weeks or after 16 weeks, I'll begin to see
the flowers.
So flowers
Okay.
in my rice. But this particular field is in the 9th week. Already we are seeing what we are seeing.
The rice itself.
So it depends on what you do and your agronomic practices in the field.
Okay. Are we on the verge of filling the gap and reducing the importation of rice?
Yes, I'm always positive on that because I can see that so many private sector players are now coming into the rice space. Because for what I know is that Just One group of companies is coming in with millers.
Yes.
They are talking of 5 metric ton millers per hour. So it means that if we multiply by 8, that's 40 metric tons per hour in a day for each of their rice mills. Assuming they bring in 10, it means in a day what we are even producing in Ghana will not even be enough. So it means that, like I said, if young people even venture into rice production, there will be ready market for them to sell to the off-takers like Zoom, like Just One Group, and then they'll be in good business.
Okay, so we're about wrapping up our conversation on commercial rice production here in, what's the district again?
Karega district.
Karega district. And we found ourselves in the field of 600 acres out of the 2,000 plus he's cultivating. But briefly, looking at the mathematics we just did on TV, it's pretty much a huge budget.
Yes.
Do you advise young people to put themselves together and do than going individual?
Yes, it is better and better always to come in groups as farmers.
Right.
For instance, we form. I'm also part of a cooperative.
Okay.
I'm part of Kamban Cooperative Food Farming and Marketing Society.
Okay.
Even though I'm a commercial farmer, but I'm still part of
an association.
The association I am part of.
Okay.
And we are over 20,000 farmers, both smallholder and commercial farmers. So everybody who wants to go into farming, not necessarily being a cooperative, you can just be a farm-based organization within your locality. You coordinate things, you have information, at least government subsidy projects and other donor-funded projects. You can leverage on them and then you can also grow.
Do I need some special knowledge to be able to succeed in rice farming?
Yes, yes. Everything concerning crop is too scientific.
Okay.
Even if you are not, if you've not gone to school to even study agriculture, there are aspects in the district's MOFA officers who needs to guide you, and you must learn from them before you venture into this. But anything you do with that knowledge will always crash.
Okay. What is your employment level in this field alone? How many people are working for you?
If I'm to talk of casual, because currently, like my company, I have 61 permanent workers who are working. But as for casual workers, there are over 1,000.
Over
1,000.
1,000?
Because almost all the time, people are working. Like when we're coming, we saw people working.
Yes.
And so you can imagine the farms are 12 farms.
Okay.
So if every day, even if 100 people are working in every farm, how many people are we employing per day? Over 1,200. And that's what everybody's working. That's what we are doing almost all the time.
Full-blown Ghanaian has over 1,000 casual workers under his watch. Not to talk about the permanent workers. Alhaji, you are doing well.
Yes.
Do you think if Ghana focuses, that's my last question for you, as a key stakeholder in this sector, do you think if we give it all the support, the infrastructure and the investment it needs, we can be able to solve the challenges we are facing and the economic challenges?
I think no country in the world succeeded without agriculture. No country in the world succeeded without agriculture. Every country which succeeded did it with agriculture. So if we really want to succeed in Ghana, unless agriculture. And I'll come back again to my local distance.
Yes.
They said, if you want to speak and beat your chest, that is, if you want to be very proud, it means that you should be able to feed yourself very well.
Thank you very much.
So
when you are full up, then you can talk other people's matter.
So if you can't feed yourself, then you can be a proud person. So if Ghana cannot feed itself, it means that we can be proud people.
Okay.
If other nations are feeding us, then it means that we are still slaves.
Okay.
What if those countries decide not to give us again? What are we going to do? So we should be able to feed ourselves in Ghana, and this is the only way we can go, and we must do it.
What a beautiful way to wrap up our interview with the overall National Best Farmer 2021, Alhaji Mashood, the founder and CEO of Kujo Abimash Farm, who has 12 different farms under his watch. For rice alone, he has over 2,000. Maize alone, he has over 1,000 plus. And we are yet to go into the granules and millets and sorghum and a lot of things. And he's here in Ghana. He's not run away to abroad. Oh, yesterday, if you see his mansion and the car, we are enjoying it.
Yes, yeah.
Right, so thank you very much for hanging out with me for this past 30 minutes. If you are in the diaspora and you are thinking of, can I survive in Ghana? Can I make it in Ghana? The reality is that coming back to settle is not smooth. Yes. Alhaji will tell you. But when you stay firm and you face all the difficulties, like you manage to succeed in the diaspora, you will definitely make it on your homeland. This is the Ghanaian Farmer. My name is Anyona. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, share the link, give it to a friend to watch that a Ghanaian, a Nodna is doing it. I am so proud of him, and all I can say is thank you very much.
Thanks so much, madam,
for having us.